Hi, I'm Dan with MEC Outdoors. Today I'm going to walk you through some general maintenance that you can do on any of your MEC Clay Target machines. Now to do this, and before doing any of the work on your Clay Target machine, make sure the machine is disarmed and you have removed the power to the battery. We recommend using a high temperature grease, both your top plate shaft and also your clamp block bolt heads. At least once a year I like to remove the carousel off the machine and reapply a little bit of grease onto the top plate shaft. To begin, I will go ahead and pull your rear pusher shaft back, take a 3/4 inch wrench, go onto the nut on top of the carousel and begin backing the nut off. And remove the washer, nut, and your nylon spacer. Once those parts have been removed, you're able to lift the carousel off of the machine. Now with the carousel off of the trap, I like to go in and reapply a little bit of grease onto this top plate shaft. This ensures that the carousel is able to freely and smoothly pivot through the use of the machine. After I've re-greased the machine, I will go ahead and reattach the carousel. Make sure to add the spacer on first, followed by the washer, and lastly, your nylock nut. Now when I retighten the carousel onto the machine, you don't want to go too tight where it's very hard to move the carousel back and forth, but you also don't want to be able to free spin the carousel. So I'll just find somewhere in that mid-range where you can move the trap freely. After going through and re-greasing the top plate shaft, I'll quickly add a little bit of grease to both of these bolt heads as they are in constant contact with one another as the machine is arming and disarming. Another part I like to look at on the machine is your throwing arm rubber. Just visually check and make sure there are no large gouges or pieces missing out of the throwing arm. If there are, and they're minor, you can simply take some sandpaper to the arm and clean that area up. Depending on how many targets you are throwing at your range, it's good practice to take a look at your top plate and your throwing plate several times a year. Like to visually check and make sure that there are no pieces of debris underneath your inner and outer knife edge, along as your letdown ramp. And secondly, you can go down and look underneath your throwing plate. Make sure that those areas are all freed up as well. Lastly, on the throwing plate, I like to take a quick look at the front rail and spring assembly. I like to go in with my hand and just visually check that you're able to maneuver the spring front and back and that there are no target debris or chunks lodged up in there restricting the movement. Another item I like to check on the machine is your battery connections. I like to make sure that there is no corrosion or rust building up on this that might cause connection issues. If there is, you're able to take a wire brush or a Scotch-Brite pad, clean those surfaces up, and reattach. Again, I'm Dan with MEC Outdoors. I'd like to thank you for watching our maintenance and service tips. For more information on other great MEC products, feel free to check us out on mecoutdoors.com.